In this warehouse in Fairfax, Virginia, Bobby Smith is packing medical supplies for shipment to the main hospital in Sierra Leone's capital, Freetown. Among the items are gowns, masks, and gloves to help protect health workers treating Ebola patients. Smith has also been sending rolling beds and wheelchairs since the hospital didn't have any. His mission has become personal since 2 of his relatives in Sierra Leone have died from Ebola.
My people are dying. I'm just trying to help as much as I can.
Smith knows what it's like to save lives since he works on a surgical team at a Maryland hospital's trauma unit.
You know, for the Ebola, this would be like a wonderful thing.
Many of the items he ships back home are donated by hospitals, including these partial rolls of medical tape.
They use just a little bit of it. They don't want to reuse it, so they're just going to dump it.
He gets help with packing and shipping from the Brothers Brother Foundation, a U.S. charity that provides medical supplies to needy countries. Luke Hinkson, president of the group, calls Smith inspirational.
He sees a problem and works to bring the best out of other people to solve the problem.
Smith solved the problem of some fishermen in Sierra Leone who didn't have boats. Using his own money plus donations, he bought 3 boats for them to share. His former primary school didn't have a library, so he helped build one and fill it with books. And when Smith sent over 4,000 pairs of donated shoes, the look in these boys' eyes told it all.
It's like Christmas for them.
Over the past 3 years, Smith has also provided meals for homeless amputees living together in camps who lost their limbs during Sierra Leone's brutal 11-year-long civil war. He met them at a beach where these poignant photos show a bit of fun in their very difficult lives.
Because after the Civil War, they got thousands of amputees without homes. Every Sunday, they have a group that comes in and plays soccer.
His organization is also helping the homeless make money.
We send tools for them to make a living because they can make pots and pans.
His efforts show that small projects can have big results, improving and saving lives.
You don't need a lot of money to help people overseas.
Bobby Smith says Hope for Lives in Sierra Leone will continue sending medical supplies. And once the threat of Ebola has ended there, he will send a team of health workers to perform surgeries for free. Deborah Block, VOA News, Fairfax, Virginia.
What is your organization's current project?
Well, the current projects we have now, we are mostly dealing with the free education program that started in the country. We know we have a new government run by a president called President Bio. And then recently, after I think it's been now about 6 months or 7 months since he's been the president, so he came up with a program, a free quality education for the kids. And this is the first time in the entire country since I knew about. But Hope for Lives, we've been doing free education for many years now. We've been giving out things, giving shoes, helping in schools, do everything that we can to help the kids. So with this new program that the new president bringing, so we're hoping to work with the president so they can work with our team, and then we continue the free education quality that they already started in the country.
That's really important to bring that over. So if people want to get involved, how can people help with this?
Well, the way people can involve, you can go to our site to, you go to www.hopeforsierraleone.org, or you can even call 240-731-8586. You can call and get, the best way, I think, if you go to the website, of course, we are volunteers, with non-profitable organization. If you go on the website, you can see most of the information about donations and stuff, because we collect a lot of things to help out. So if you go there, just go on the donate, and then whether it's finance or material stuff, especially books and clothing and stuff that we help with. So just go out there. I think you'll see us,
Okay. And what are you sending over to Sierra Leone right now?
Well, right now, currently, we're trying to put, again, we're trying to send a container. We're trying to raise money to send a container. It costs about $8,000 to send a container. And we put a 40-foot container. We raise everything, and everything goes directly to the people. It's not anything sold. It goes directly to the people or the kids. So recently, about last year, we had we have an issue in Sierra Leone. We have a mudslide that killed over 1,000 people. Over 150 to 200 kids that got killed, and some of them were even in our program. It's a small town called Regent. So because of this, we are trying to put a computer facility, to facilitate, all the schools around that area, because we already had one that we built. And of course, a lot of people know we built the first primary school for a Catholic primary school computer lab in the country, and also a library. And it's over there in St. Anthony Primary School. So we're trying to adapt that same thing over in Regent, where this mudslide killed a whole bunch of these kids. In fact, during the mudslide, we went there and do a post-traumatic counseling to these kids. And the moment school opened, we were there trying to help out the kids. And anyway, I was touched by our team. We got a solid team now. Of course, we're all volunteers. We're volunteers, and God bless those kids. God bless our team. We call ourselves the A team now, from the Hope for Lives team. So they go over there and help out and trying to facilitate exactly what the kids, and as I said, we're trying to work with the government now and see if we can put things together, especially that facility we're trying to get up in Regent. That would be amazing if people can come out and support us. Go to the website and donate as much as you can to help us out.
Mm-hmm. That's really important effort.
Yeah.
So where is Sierra Leone today in terms of young people and women and seniors?
Yes, as we presently see, I'm talking right here, we had a great, this new government run by President Bio. His wife is another pioneer. This lady is Mrs. Bio. She, I've never met her, and I would love to meet her in the future. She's a lady that goes around to support a lot of, especially when it comes to young kids, because we have mostly teenage pregnancy, we have trafficking, we have all those kids that never facilitated to go back to school, so they become prostitution and all that stuff. So she's so against that and working hand with hand. In fact, there's a beautiful lady called Precious. Her name is Precious Annabelle Levy. She and this first lady, there was a kid that was sick in Sierra Leone, but this kid was so sick that the only chance she got is to travel overseas, but there was no money. So between Precious Annabelle Levy and the first lady, they raised over $36,000.
Wow!
And the kid was sent over to India, and then now the kid is back in Sierra Leone and healthy and stuff. And so the lady, I respect this lady. I've never met her, the president, the Mrs. Bio, but I respect her a lot for what she believes, and she stands up. We've seen a lot of first ladies that just stay back and what the husband says and they just jump. But this lady goes around and support and help the husband and do a whole bunch of stuff. And I am not a politician. Hope for Lives is not a politician organization. It's mostly a non-profitable organization with volunteers. So, but we work with whoever the party is. We have the former ones. I'm not going to go there, but whatever happens, it's already passed. But now we have the new ones, and we're hoping to work with them. As I said, the lady works with teenage pregnancy. She works mostly trying to fight against trafficking, and she works with encouraging young ladies, young girls, and she and this lady called Annabelle Precious Levy, she too, she works so hard trying to help. She was here for the Nelson Mandela conference. She came here and helped out, and then that's how she came. And I think she had an interview with you guys once, and then and she went back there, and she's still moving that and forward. So, as I said, right now, she also this Precious Levy, she works with senior citizen. And the senior citizen is the only senior citizen place facility we have in the whole entire country. And we have about 7 million people.
Wow.
7 million people we have in that country. So if they only have one, and probably I think, as she was saying, it's about 35 or less or more, at least 35 people are staying in this building. So she works so hard and trying to support and find out what they can do, and then she's trying to work with the government and see if they can really facilitate and probably open some more facilities for the seniors. Because over in Sierra Leone, yes, a lot of seniors stays home. Mm-hmm. So a lot of seniors stays with their family, but some of them that can't afford it, they go to these facilities and places, but there's no resources, there's no help. So with Precious now, she goes around trying to reach out to the government, trying to reach out to citizens, trying to reach out to the world and see what they can do to facilitate this senior citizen place.
So it sounds like there's a lot of projects going on, a lot of positive things happening. Maybe it's some optimism and some hope for some changes.
That's correct, yeah. There's always hope. It's just we have some people, it's trust, because we have organizations that have been doing so much stuff that people don't want to give a trust to any other organization. And I'll tell you something, for Hope for Lives, that people want to know, you can go on the website, you can go on the Facebook page, you can see what we do. 100% of what we collect here or donate goes directly to who needs it. We're not going to say you want it. We go to people that needs it. And I travel to, if I can afford it, I travel in person and distribute all of the stuff myself personally. So we're hoping that people can go on our site and see what we're doing and come back and help us. If they want to team up, we team up a lot. There's a group called, in Gibraltar, they call Action for School. So we collaborate with this group and we're helping building wells. So far with this group, almost 30 wells for schools have been built in the country. And to build a well, it costs like $5,000 just for one well. But so we work together. It's all about collaboration. I'm sure there's an organization that don't know about Hope for Lives. So please reach out to us. We work with team. Of course, we're not getting paid. So if you're willing to come in and help, just come in and talk with us and see how we can work together. It's all about collaboration and teamwork.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Well, the only thing I think is that it's just for the world to believe that there are people out there trying to make a living and trying to survive and everything. And I believe there's a lot of good people out there in the world. So all they have to do is just to reach out. Africa needs help. Even here in the United States, we have some shelters places, homeless places that they need help. So please, all I'm just saying, Sierra Leone is coming up. We are behind on a lot of things. The president is traveling around. He just meets with Bill Gates. He's just going around meeting a whole bunch of people and trying to help the country. And we're pleading for tourism in the country. We want tourism because tourism, I know we had the Ebola, but now it's safe. Everybody has to know that. The country is safe. There's no war. There's nothing going on. I travel there. People come in and travel. It's safe. So we need people to come back in the country and come and prove themselves. I'm not really sure about this, but I think the government implements a free visa to anyone that wants to visit the country. So you can go over there and see for yourself, and then you can come out and tell. So please, we I don't want to say we're begging, we're pleading to people that are willing to come and help us out. And we need all the resources. We need investors. The country is a great country. It's a wonderful place. It's just we're going through so much hard time and so much problems in the country. But right now we're trying to develop again. So whoever is out there, please think about Sierra Leone. We know there's more African countries, but remember us, please.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Okay. Well, thank you. I'm talking about St. Anthony School that I went to. My mom, in fact, was the head teacher at that school. It was amazing. I went there the first day just to talk to the teachers, talk to the principal, and explain that my plan for the next day to come and help to feed some of these kids. And then went to the principal's office, talked to the principal, and explained that how many kids you got here. I'm having a plan to come and see the next day and see if I can feed these kids. And the principal says they got almost 700 to 800 kids with the clinic staffs and also the volunteer staffs and everybody else. It was almost to 900 to 1,000 or whatever it was. So the principal says, "Are you sure you want to do that?" I say, "I'm going to try." And then I left and then went to talk to Hill Valley and say, "Guys, we have another plan again. We have another feeding for the next day." And then we came and fed them. So the day we came in to visit the kids, it was like a dream come true for me, because growing up in St. Anthony School, it's a Catholic school. Every first Friday, the nuns and then the priest and father, They used to give lunches to a lot of homeless people. You know, every first Friday we will get lunch. So coming back now with my provisions to this school was amazing. So the first thing I did, I went to the principal and we trying to put all the kids together. The kids were outside, one of the class was outside having their physical education, they call it PE. And then I told the teachers that if we can take these kids to the class. So the principal said that was okay. So we took the class that was already out and trying to line up every class bringing a bag of food for each class. And it was so amazing how some of these classes were so quiet when we're passing the food. And then the teachers were all amazing in the school. Some kids were all excited and I was excited too. Just makes me feel like the time when I was a child right here at the school called St. Anthony School. So they were also excited in the school. There was so much noise, so much things going on, and then later on I tell the principal if they can come outside. And I thought that was amazing. All of these kids coming out with their lunch in their hands. It was just amazing for me seeing these kids running around. You know, it was like this is the last food they had, I don't know when. And there was so much cheerful and so much joy. And at one time I was right in the middle of these kids and I told the kids, I said, please, I said, can you all be quiet? There was still a little background of a little small noisy, but I told them, and the ones around me, over 100 around me, they were all quiet. And then I said, guys, you have to remember this day. Remember that somebody that came in the school when he was little, now he's overseas, he's here doing this. So I want you guys to remember, 1, 2, 3, 4 of you guys might have the same opportunity to go overseas. Remember to come back and do the same thing that I'm doing right here. And all I can hear from these kids, they say, we will, and some of them were even calling me uncle. All of them were calling me uncle and just telling me, God bless you, uncle. Uncle, God bless you. I mean, it was just amazing.
So this is what it's all about. People in where they overseas, where they cannot get money, I try for struggle so hard for can't help them pick here. So people in where overseas where get money, please. Even when not get for be rich, just come when I can do the same thing what they do. Look at the picking there, you see? This is what it's all about, guys. Then get small failure, but look. You know, you know record it.
Recently, we had the privilege to receive some lab machines from Suburban Hospital, John Hopkins Medicine. These 7 machines are hematology and analyzing machines. They can process over 1,000 blood samples a day. Running the machine needs a lot of planning. It requires a great facility, a trained technicians, and a steady source of supplies to be sustainable. These machines will be going to Sierra Leone in a 40-foot container along with all the other medical supplies that we've collected. Over the next 6 to 12 months, we've been working around the logistics for the sustainability of the program. So what exactly this machine is anyway?
This is LH culture. It's where we do all our CBCs, and it's called basically a hematology machine for WBCs and CBCs. It's a 3-part system. Yeah. This is the main instrument here. I have a tube here that I'm going to put on. This is a CBC tube. It has a label on it. And we just insert it in these cassettes that comes with the instrument, and it's automated, and we just put it on this side here, and it automatically runs picks it up.
Interesting, okay.
Picks it up and runs it through. Mm-hmm. And as it reaches the middle part and it pipettes the sample, you will see here on the screen here, the
sampling,
yes.
Results and stuff.
Yeah.
So basically.
And as you can see, this is complete. When you put it on the side, and then when it's complete, it comes on the side, and you can just take it off. Now, if the sample needs a slide, it comes to our second phase here. This is the slide maker. It aspirates during that, whether it needs it or not, a drop of from the sample,
Yeah.
and it has the slides, everything in here, and it puts it on there and it makes a slide.
So how
This instrument could do a lot of stuff.
you got you?
Yes.
Okay.
So you can put a profile there basically on the main things you want, and then you can concentrate on that. Yes.
What's up?
Hey, Bobby.
Hey.
So this is the DSI 800.
Yeah.
It's a Beckman Coulter instrument. Okay. So this is an immunoassay machine.
Yeah.
And it also tests for not only immunoassays, cardiacs. So troponins, CKMBs, CKMBs, troponins, and myoglobulin those are the markers to determine if someone's actually having an MI, which is a muscular infraction. Basically, they're having a heart attack.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
and this is Beckman DSI 800 instrument. This instrument also stores substrate, and substrate is pretty much, because this is immunology testing, it has this cuvette reservoir inside of here. So with that, with the substrate is a green solution, and basically it's keeping the pipettes oil down and lubricated, so so it don't get corroded or anything.
Gotcha.
So these are where they house at, and they have to be at room temperature before you put them on. And this instrument can hold, as far as reagents, it can hold 50 reagents on here.
Wow.
And this is where the reagents actually are housed.
Yeah.
And it runs from your thyroids to your iron studies, ferritins, B12, folate, you can run on this instrument. You also can run any kind of tumor marker, CEA, OV125, PSAs for your men, OVs are for your women.
You're right.
And then also any type of hormone studies like FSH, LHs, those are for females who within childbearing ages.
Wow.
To determine what their thyroid levels are and stuff like that. And you can also determine how many gestation weeks a female is by ordering an HCG beta, quantitative. And this instrument also can run rubellas, any type of immunization testing can be done on this instrument as well.
Yeah, so it looks like we're on a different machine now. So what exactly, this is the DXC 800. So what does this machine really does anyway?
Okay, this instrument will do your basic and complicated chemistries. Any type of electrolyte studies, sodium, chloride, CO2, also your liver enzymes, AST, ALT, alkaline phos, and it also does your lipid profiles, triglyceride, cholesterol, LD, HD, and also your therapeutic drugs will be your lithium levels, valproic, digoxin, phenytoin, all of those can be ran on this instrument as well.
Another day we went again during the visiting, we went again to feed the hospital. So I was in the hospital, visiting the hospital, but the condition of the hospital, it was clean. But, you know, there was no supplies. There's not a lot of stuff. The beds were closer. There's no protection from one patient to another. Patient confidentiality is out. With this big hospital, the hospital is called Connaught Hospital. This big hospital is almost the size of NIH. They only have 8 to 10 doctors for the whole hospital. They have 2 pediatricians, if I can recall, 2 pediatricians, 1 surgeon, 1 OB-GYN. On the same day we visited the hospital, I have the privilege to go out visiting all the amputees, the paraplegics, and the homeless, the polio. And a lot of these guys, it's over 20, 30,000 of these amputees. I visited a lot of these camps where some of these were victims from the Civil War. You got the ones that were the cut-arms, you got people that paraplegics
from probably hit by a gun or you know, they just became paralyzed. And these guys, they need a lot of help. Some of them have certificates of skills of something they can do, but it's so tough for them because they can get all the equipment to do all of those skills that they already have certificate for. So there's a lot of them around. There's different camps. They can use a lot of things from everywhere in the world. If somebody can come up with ideas to come and help these guys in Sierra Leone, it will be great.
This is in Freetown now. This area is called Moritown. It's about 45 minutes from the city in downtown Freetown. And Moritown is where the Hope for Lives boat was built. This area right now in Moritown, they have a large market area close to where all of those boats are. Kids as well as adults comes here and see if they can find a job so they can provide for their family that day. And while they're here, some of them going around begging some of the remaining of the fish from the fishermen. You can see our third fishing boat's being constructed. This boat is larger than the previous two boats that we already built. The bigger the boat will allow us to use larger drag nets to catch more fish. These boats are about 60 foot long, guys, and have a crew about 15 to 20 guys to man the net. The new bigger Hope for Life fishing boat could feed as many as 300 plus people every week. This means more people will be able to put food on the table, have money to pay for medical care, and send their kids to school. It really make a huge impact on the Moritown community.
Yeah, so I have an intention, after I've finished filling the boat, I have an intention to come back and come back and talk to those guys and then go out with them and see how it works out there. And by doing that, and then because of my experience in the hospital, you know, I've been working in the hospital for over 20 years now, and saving lives is all I know. So I say with my experience, if I go out with these guys, I'm going to ask them, I don't know if they do or not, but I'm going to ask them if ever somebody had done a CPR kind of class with these guys or CPR instruction with these guys. And they told me to say, you know, that was just me. I was just thinking. So I said, okay. I said, because, you know, I don't have to be an instructor. It's like drinking water now. I've been doing this thing for over years. I've saved so many lives in the hospital emergency room. Like, of course, Suburban is a shock trauma hospital. So I've saved so many lives. I said, so if I go out, I think I can do this with these guys. So I came in that afternoon and asked the guys, I said, guys, okay, I want you guys to go out with me. I want to see what you guys do out there. I got the two captains here. I got Sigismund here. I got Andres here. I got Victor here, and I got Thomas here. So, and all the other guys are here too. So I decided, I said, you know, guys, let's go out there. So we start, and then we go out. So on the way out now, they tell me, they say, oh man, you're lucky. I said, what do you mean? They said, the water is calm. I said, the water is calm. Look at me going bouncing upside down. You're telling me the water is calm. They said, no. So guys, you know what I did? A friend of mine, he borrowed me his life jacket. So I told the guys, I said, guys, I want 2 life jackets. I said, the first one is to make sure I am floating in case I go down in the water. As you guys can see, this is all leather. I would just sink. And then the second one is just in case, because I want to really float in the water. So that was the reason. They said, well, don't worry, man. We all know how to swim. So yeah, so this life jacket I'm wearing right now is from David. You know, I borrowed that from David and blessed David. And he was like, Bobby, they said, do you need arm ones too? You know, the floaty for your arms? I said, no, I think I'll be fine. So, but anyway, these are the guys. So I'm going out now with these guys. We're right now in the ocean. And then they're telling me stuff. You know, the kind of fishing they did. You know, they have this little bait that they make. It's the little law. It's not a live bait, they call it. They made that with wood. You know, they painting, and then they will throw that in the water while they're moving around. They will use that and use that to catch fish. You know, it's just a little lure right there. You can see those 2 guys holding the lure right there, standing right there holding it. They show me, they say, please, if you can give us a live bait.
A life bait to this guy means a lure that's probably had look plastically and look like a fish, and the real one, but it's the 150 pounder, the bigger ones, because they want to catch some big fish. You know, sometimes they have tendency of catching big fish and sometimes the little fish because they're out there in the ocean 4 days. Big fish! We're going to try to get some big one now, man. Look at this thing. Guys, this is a handmade. We need a real bait. So when I come, they can't hustle for them, boy. Let them get real baits, man. All right, good luck. And I keep telling them, I said, how do you guys get along? They said, well, what we hear, we all brothers and uncles and fathers and everything. Then, you know, they tell me how they get along, the way they cook. They use the bar all the way in the back right there. You know, from the captain is right sitting up there, and that's on the front. That's where they use to cook with, and then they sleep, they switch their thing. They have this big, huge thing in the middle where there are ices, you know, all of that. They showed me all of the stuff, and then we were bouncing up in this place here. We went to the quay, the water quay, you know, one of the biggest quay in the whole world, and all of those boats that you guys see in here, you know, they have those tanker boats. They have the boats that comes in, the ships, I should say. The ships that deliver stuff here, the container ships, and then you have those fishing things here, they call it the trawlers. You know, those fish are all, those ones are the bigger ones that, this is the Atlantic Ocean, guys. This is the Atlantic Ocean. So I'm just standing right there. These guys are showing me all the techniques and all that stuff. And then I asked them about the CPR class that I was thinking. I asked them, I said, guys, do you guys know if anything happens here, how can you save yourself? If you have a heart attack or you have somebody pass out, stop breathing. They said, we don't have no idea. We just going to, that never happens here. Most of these guys been fishing over 20 years too. Some are new fishermen, but some of them been fishing here for a very long time. And then they told me, they said, no, we don't know. I said, well, guys, if you don't mind. One of them said, are you the doctor? I said, no, I'm not a doctor. I'm just going to show you techniques and ways to survive. I said, I'm not an instructor, but I've been doing this for over 20 years. I can do it now with my eyes closed. You know, in the emergency room, that's all we do. We save lives sometimes, some we don't, you know. But most of the time, 80 out of 90, we're trying to bring them back. Even if it takes us that long, we're trying to bring them back. We got a great team at Suburban Hospital, a very wonderful team. It's a trauma unit. We do a lot of stuff. But so I talked to the guys, and then they said, okay, you can give us the class. So I said, oh, you guys are ready? So I started with the class, showing them a different basic stuff. I said, you got to remember the ABC. You got to know how to breathe on people. You got to know how to do the compression. You got to know when to do it, because if somebody's breathing, you don't want to do it. So I gave them all of that, and they were so happy. They were so happy after we finished most of the techniques, and I gave some of them, and they were doing it, and they were like, you know what? This is the first time in Sierra Leone that somebody ever done. They say, one of the guys has been doing this for over 28 years. This is the first time somebody came here and tell us to do this, you know? So I give them the advice. I say, yes, guys. I say, this is tough. I've been doing this for a long time. I can do this with my eyes closed. So, but what I want you guys to do, I want you guys to practice this. Every week, try it twice a week. When you guys in town, try it. Keep doing it until for a month or 2 months so you can get used to it. You do once, twice a month, then once a month, and then you keep going. And that way, you not only have to do it in the ocean, you can do it at home. You can save some people at home. He said, because if your father, your mom, your dad, it says, because sometimes some people in the city right now died because we can't bring them up from doing the CPR, the resuscitation stuff. So I gave them all that idea and all that, and they were so happy to know it. We came back, they were asking me all of this question again. I keep answering them, and I was really happy on that. At least I know somebody in Sierra Leone. I'm sure probably you have the doctors, a few of the nurses. They probably, a lot of them, hopefully knows how to do this kind of thing. And then hopefully with these guys going out there practicing, where they can teach some of their fishermen too, in case something like that happened to them in the ocean right there. You know, after talking to most of those guys out there in the ocean and telling them that they can take this home, and some of them were really shocked, because I don't think a lot of Sierra Leoneans don't know that they can really save people's life from doing CPR if they're dying. Because right now, if somebody's dead, you know, if somebody's dying, they just assume there's nothing
They just have to wait for medical help. There's nothing they can do. But with this experience, hopefully I gave to these guys, they can take this to their families so they can have hope. They can believe that they can save people's life. Because right now, a lot of people are dead here. I'm sure if a lot of these people know about the CPR, the resuscitation stuff to bring people back, I believe with my faith, and I believe with what we have done in the ER, a lot of people that will bring back. I believe these people can do the same thing here. I know I've shown these guys so much stuff about the CPR and all that stuff. When they go back home, they're going to be thinking about it. But I would love to know and go out there, train some of these guys to have have a certificate, not even a certificate, but really they can be instructor to go around and instructing people in Sierra Leone to save lives, because that would be a wonderful thing to happen in this country.